Alright, so this should work. Hopefully my stand stays where I want it to, because if it don't, that's going to be really bad. But a little something different here. I'm going to be recording my little hobby I have here on the side once in a while to work with. Taking 1/64 scale stuff, customizing it a bit, having a little fun with it. Oh, and prior notice, I guess you should say the heater might kick on, so it'll get kind of loud in here. I did test it beforehand. You should still be able to hear my voice over the recording for the most part. Without further ado here, I'll just go ahead and move this to the side a little bit. Basically just taking old 1/64 scale cars, Hot Wheels, Mattel, whatever they were at one point, Matchbox, who knows what they were at one point. But they've gotten broke over the years, demolished. Some of them were played outside. Some of them got stepped on because I was a fool and left my toys out. And I was always given the rule of thumb, you clean your toys up or they will get trampled on. And they got trampled on by me or by my father or any of us. So you gotta learn your lesson the hard way sometimes. And I did. Clean my toys up after that. With that said, just taking, as you see, this one, it's even a little bit wider too, because it got stepped on pretty badly. I believe it was me that actually broke that one. And then this one was just an old toy I believe I found buried. I forget where exactly. And then, last but not least, for those that know the little Hot Wheels Monster Jam toys, I've actually found this body. There was no frame to it. It was actually laying at a speedway show I go to. It was laying in the dirt buried. It had gotten crushed, actually. It was laying just in front of the crush cars. I don't know if it actually got hit by a monster truck at one point and just got pushed into the ground during the show, because I was there for all 3 days. I went Friday, and I believe that I found this on the pit party day, Saturday, sitting just in front of the crushed cars for freestyle. And so I was like, well, I'll take this home. And it sat in my room for quite a while, and I picked up some JB Weld and I rebuilt the corner edge that had gotten smashed for the best I can get it rebuilt. And then I took out the little pegs in the center that were here that hold on to the Hot Wheels thing and shaved down the rear pegs a little bit. I made a chassis to kind of match it, but it was the first time I did this, so it's kind of lopsided. It was a prototype, I guess you could call it. It's a test, but the body does fit fairly well on this chassis. It just needs to be supported in the back. It drops in the back a bit, obviously. Or if I set it like that, it fits nicely. But it has to sit further back like that. It doesn't look right there. But it fits nicely on there. So, for the most part, it doesn't drop down nearly as far here as I'd like it to, but for the most part, the body fits. And I do like how it looks, although a little lopsided. The chassis looks like it went through hell. But, yeah. So that was that first attempt. Now the second attempt here, you see, for those that currently watch Monster Jam, and for those that have followed them on other YouTube channels, Mega Trucks. This body, and this little axle here, I gotta find the other one of that. There's 2 more of those tires running around here, and I lost them. I felt bad for losing them, because I noticed I can use them for this. But they are from a little case skid steer, 1/64 scale skid steer that I tore apart. It didn't have any bucket, or it didn't have any arms on it. No bucket, no arms. Actually, here's just the chassis portion of it. Oops, just laying around. This is all it had. It had the wheels, but it didn't have any thing else. Actually, I'm not sure if it resembles the case or not. It only has the branding of what toy it is. But yeah, so I figured to take the wheels off it and make it, and utilize the wheels. Originally I was going to use them as transport tires, which that truck is actually upstairs I made. I took one of the old Avenger Hot Wheels and actually gave it suspension. Using old X-Mod springs, if you remember those Radio Shack toys. So that's those deals. And then this one sits here now, and these are actually made out of coat hangers. Just simply cut some coat hangers down. This part does not fit in frame, I doubt it, but cut some coat hangers down to size, and then you get your chassis pieces. Oop, and that went flying. Ouch. So we're going to go ahead and work on getting another piece put in here and whatnot. So we're just using a pair of dikes to cut this down the size and get a straight piece out of that. And then we use the rest of the pieces. I'll either cut them up and get the straight pieces out, or if I actually can use the bends, I'll take the bends too. But now we have a fairly decent straight piece there that we can use to put together the back support here. And we literally just going to eyeball this to fit it into place. Because I don't... Actually, no, there it is. We have a marker. So we're going to work on... I am shaking like a dickens for some reason today. Jeez. So we're going to go ahead and eyeball mark this. And then wind up cutting it just a little further behind that, because chances are we don't want to make the mistake of having to cut several pieces out of here. Now this will probably go flying. So, way to cheat. That's the emptiest one here. We're going to take that little cup, put them in there. Ooh, really can't cut through that? I just cut this thing off 2 minutes ago. Oh, probably should put it further back on the... If this works, I'll be happy, because usually... Okay, the other side went flying. Cool, I'll take it. And my cat found that interesting. She's over there chasing down the piece that flew. And there's the heater, so I might talk a little bit louder to get over that. So now, usually I have my Dremel here, but it's sitting elsewhere being used in the train room. So we're going to settle for using a file. In proper use, yay. Yeah, but it works. For the most part. Yeah, it does work actually. It knocked him down a bit. Now, usually, when we put this into place here, we're going to use, yeah, it's just slightly bigger, which is okay. Now I might actually have to get the Dremel to fix that problem, because quite frankly I think that's one thing that's going to be, I'm indifferent about there, is I don't want to spend forever having to follow that down, so run off and grab the Dremel here, and come right back with that, and we can continue going at it and knocking them down. Alright, now we have the Dremel. We can go to town with that. Now where is... Take one of those hooks there. And if it fits, I'm gonna get the film inside. Maybe not. I thought it would fit in the side here. Oh wait, yeah it does. There we go. It's actually the better spot for it. I like it there. It's right next to me and I'm going to go too far for it. Should just be able to get away with using what's on it. Just got to be super careful. Super careful. Definitely, and I'll probably mute the video for this so you're not hearing, well, but again, I'm not sure how loud it'll be, so we'll find out. Which I don't think it's going to be that loud, so. I think I might have to look into getting a little mini vice. I may have to actually use the grinding wheel, little grinding wheel for it, because I don't know if that's gonna fit in there still. Well, it's getting there. Still a little wide on that. Actually, I might be able to chop off. Hang on, watch it be too much now, because that worked really well. No, that'll probably end up being just enough, because you do have to pull those together a little bit. So now my little handle's going to have to come off here. What we're going to do is put this guy on here. Actually, that fits on there nicely, I think. Oh wait, there it goes. Hopefully it's not. Oop, I hope I didn't break anything. What we're going to be doing, is adding a piece in the back. The only downside is the body on this truck is a little askewed from being stepped on, so it is a little weird having to okay, what part of that came free? Okay. That might be in good interest. Yeah, actually that kind of had to happen. Alright, and then all we're going to do now is that's going to sit like that. It's a little bit wobbly because there's nothing else holding the body on yet, so that'll come in due time. I'll have to make some little brackets to hold the body. So what we're going to do now is I actually use super glue to kind of help hold things in place at first, and then of course I have my little toothpick here. That helps a lot too. The big thing is trying to get this just the right distance apart. This is going to end up working. Yep, that's actually going to fit. And I'll have to redo the back of that chassis just a little bit because it came undone, but it was in the best interest for it because it actually was slightly askewed. And the super glue seems to make this a little bit easier than to get it to hold, at least. As far as doing anything else, it's going to need JB Weld. But the super glue just goes on the ends, and then the JB Weld will go the whole way around it, and it seems to work quite well. At least what I figured so far. My hand's probably in the way, but I gotta hold this steady enough. like to be able to get the inlet. Oh jeez, we're having issues. Yay, the heater's off. That won't be too much of an issue now. Ah! Having more issues than I usually have with this. That's all I wanted to do right there was catch. Now the worst case scenario is I glue my fingers onto this project. Okay, it caught, so I could let go now. I think we're good. Hopefully it looks straight. And then I'm just going to dab a little glue back here because it came loose on the back side here. And that should seal that up a little better. I'll definitely have to look into that. Hopefully it's not too bad. That came loose too, but that's okay. That should be fine. We can work with that for now. I'm just going to put a dab of glue here to hold this, and hopefully if I go that the glue works with the JB Weld, because it seems to work in the back really well. I added the glue to the one side and it's held ever since, and actually that side held stronger than the side that had just the JB Weld. So I guess that's a positive. So with that in place and hopefully going to hold, and the back in place and going to hold, I'll have to make some more of those small pieces there to fit one down here, one up here for the window bar, one in the back here, and then I'll have to make a small cradle for this eventually, which that is in a later date to come. And if I get down here and kind of look straight at the chassis, that's all, everything lines up. The bars are at the same spot. That's pretty nice. Not bad for eyeballing stuff. Not bad for eyeballing. And then we have this bar here, which is going to be constructed to be this bar is going to be your down bars back here. And then we'll make something here, I guess, for suspension purposes. And then eventually I'll have to figure something for a little differential here so everything still rotates and whatnot. So that's how we're going to do that. When we get there, it's a slow but tedious progress. But hey, a little bit of a perfectionist. I like it to be as close perfect, except for the last one. That was a prototype, and hey, you learn as you go. Alright, so we could probably cut another small one just to go ahead and get that in, not necessarily in place, but at least somewhere close to in place. And this is where it becomes standing room only. And hopefully I don't bump this apart. That'll be great. We'll just measure it back here since it's the same the whole way up. Or the piece was still stuck in there. Nice when you got sharp tools. It should be just a little bit wider. Just a hair wider. Okay, that's good. You can cut that down the size then. And we'll get one. I should stop closing up my dealio here. And we'll get one more piece Alright, and that's marked. I guess I closed it up because every time I've ever worked with the silver Sharpies, they've always seemed to go bad down the road. Yeah, this piece might be actually a lot wider. About the same. Okay. So, that's those pieces. And I'll probably have to mix up some JB Weld then to go around the whole way around all the mounting points and whatnot. The super glue probably only is going to do so much and then it would just fall apart. So we're going to try to actually get a bigger and better bond on it. Hey, you can pick it up. Not too bad, not too bad. I didn't glue it to the desk. I feel like it melts the JB Weld a little bit whenever you put it on that stuff. So maybe it does, maybe it don't. I don't know. But it seems like it seems to change its characteristic a little bit there. Not bad. Alright, so we'll go ahead and hopefully this stuff is still good. Yeah, it looks rough, I'll give it that. Been sitting back here in the back for a little bit, so. Hopefully it's still somewhat decent. And if it's not, well, it looks okay. If it's not, we'll just be in trouble and not be able to use it. Yeah, it looks alright. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put that. Okay, cool. I still got battery life. I had to double check that. Camera eats through batteries pretty massively. I mean, it only takes AA's, but hey. Alright. So, let's do that. Shouldn't read that much. Oh, great. Whoops. Nice time to need a freaking paper towel. Or at least a small one there. Well, could be worse. Probably don't need that much. But, you know. That's also, actually that's not that much at all. And that's why I have this little board here too, on top of the desk. It's my little board for mixing up JB Weld and stuff. So just work off it. And it keeps me from also drilling into this, or at least trying to stop from busting up a desk. It's already stained as it is, so. Just trying to keep her nice. And then we'll come back, obviously, and sand this down to be a lot nicer when we get there. So right now it's just... This is actually all a test, because it seems to work with the JB Weld really well and not affect it, so hopefully that's the case for the entire build. I'm actually learned from the last time, trying to be a little more, I'm trying to be less aggressive with the JB Weld, not necessarily to hurt anything, but just not to cake it on so heavy that it, I don't want to cake it on and so damn heavy that it takes forever to sand it. Oh yeah, the toothpick was a way better idea. Like, I do want it to be strong and kind of hold up to abuse, but I really don't want to throw so much on there that I gotta do a lot and a lot of sanding. Oops. And as I say that, I throw a bunch on. Oh well, to make that joint extra strong. I did notice that I have a little bit longer bar on one side, so we'll have to fix that then. Okay, so apparently my camera has a recording limit that it can do, and it met that limit. That, or I filled up my card. No, I don't. It'll beep at me again if I did. We'll find out if I filled that up. I don't think I did, so we'll see. So we'll just go ahead and finish up this little process here, and then we'll do the rest on other videos. So finish this up here and go from there and see what transpires. It's like welding in real life, but not quite the same at all. Even though it is intended to be the same manner. My intent is the same, just not executed the same. And the super glue idea, I always wonder if it was the one we had upstairs was good for metal, and it said it was, so I used it down here on this, and I greatly enjoy the fact that it makes things a lot easier. Because trying to position stuff with just JB Weld and then hold it there until it decides to stick, especially stuff this small, is very difficult. So to have this set up to where it's not that difficult is real nice. And this is going a lot better than my previous attempts at JB Weld. My previous attempts with JB Welding were messy. So we're probably going to actually brace this up on the edge a bit there. It looks like I got everything for the most part. So now all we got to do is just set this up on something so the bottom doesn't touch and let her dry. And that toothpick is the deal in question. Toothpick will do the trick. Alright, so that's actually some progress. We're going to let that dry, and then we come back on a little video here. We're going to do, I almost said episode for some reason, this ain't gaming. We'll come back and we'll put we'll put the cross mounts in the bottom there, and then we'll probably get these little window bars on, and we'll figure out some other mounting points and how to do the cradle. And maybe even how to do 4 links and stuff like that. And then we'll have to figure out a little differential for that guy, so I can mount the shocks to, our suspension setup that we're going to give a shot with. See if it works. We'll mount that up. I might tinker around with the suspension idea on this other chassis, just see how it works. And then if it works really well, you'll get to see it on this little guy. So that is the first progress that I've actually recorded of this little mega truck build here. So definitely be back with more. Until next time, see you guys later.